All Things Books and Publishing, and you all know that once a month, Mary and I do a free workshop. Yes, it is free. We invite people, and as many people as want to come on here and learn things. Denise Winter has joined us again from last month, and our current author, Gwendolyn Law, who I absolutely love because she's like one of my children, has also joined us. How exciting is this? If you want to join us, but you want to be in the chat room, go over to our Off the Chain Facebook page, because this thing runs live on Off the Chain, and sit in the chat room. Mary Brotherton helps host this. At one time, we were going to do one in a building somewhere. And we figured we have so many people that are all over the country, and now we're selling books in 11 countries. So we decided that we would offer it to all over the world. So welcome. We hope that today is informative and that you learn things and that you're ready to come aboard. The first thing that I want to say before we get started is this. Would a pipe fitter try to tell a surgeon how to do his job? If you're in an operating room and a pipe fitter comes in and he says, "Oh, I'm going to do your surgery today, Mr. or Miss So-and-so," what are you going to say to that person? It's the same thing in our industry. Mary and I are the experts. We have the knowledge, we have the forethought, we have the skill set. So when a pipe fitter, aka one of your friends, one of your family, comes to you and says, "Oh, I don't like this cover. Oh, I found a mistake in your book," go back and tell your publisher to fix it. Tell them to bite the big one. Because I'm sick and tired of friends and relatives telling us how to do our job. We're human. Things happen. I have not read a book by a well-known author yet that didn't have a mistake in it. I make mistakes. I'm human. And when I have a 300 and something page book, yeah. And we're going to get into this, when my authors do not send me the manuscript in the right format, and I have to go back and I have to put it all back together again, like building a house from scratch, because somebody built it wrong the first time, then things happen. So the next time I get something from one of my authors that says, "Oh, my friend didn't like my cover," or "My friend found a mistake," I'm going to say, "Give me that friend's name," because I'm done.
Yeah, let that friend pay your $50 fine.
Exactly. I'm done, people. I'm done. We run
I want to say we do this for free. Because Yvonne and I both feel like we have been called by God to do this thing, which is Midnight Publishing. We don't charge anybody for what we do. And we do a lot. Yvonne does more, but we do a lot. But when I say that the friend is going to have to pay $50 fine, if I told my son, who's just recently come on board, and he was looking at the contract, and he says, "So let me get this right. What if I do something wrong? I have to pay $50." I said, "Well, we're calling that behind the scenes. Don't annoy the publisher fine." He said, "Well, how do you annoy her?" I said, "By not
Tell her to redo it.
Yeah. By asking her to constantly redo something, and telling her that she doesn't know what she's doing in so many words." I said, you don't put the book out and then say, "Oh, I made a mistake on page 47. Can you fix it? There needs to be a comma there." No, that comma is going to cost you $50.
Exactly. And
it's not worth it.
If I make a mistake, I'll fix it because I made the mistake and I didn't catch it. But if we have given you people the requirements of what we need for a manuscript, and you send me a Google Doc or you send me some off the wall document that is not a Word doc and it's got symbols and it's got all kinds of crazy stuff, and I have to go in and fix it and I miss one, and your friend comes back and goes, "Oh, there's a mistake." I'm
That's because we're human.
I'm telling you, I'm up to here. I'm done. I am done playing nice.
And it's true. We read books where you catch a sentence and something,
Yes.
and well, you bought it, we have it now.
Learn to
I
speed read and you don't
There's
notice
nothing
those
perfect.
mistakes.
and we're human. There was only
Mhm.
one perfect person on this earth. He died on a cross, and I'm gonna tell you,
Exactly.
I don't like people that well. So no, I'm not perfect.
No.
I am
I don't
not
want to be perfect.
me either.
Right? There you
It's
go.
Perfect means I'm not here
Too big a
anymore.
burden.
I think I told you our church says no perfect people allowed.
There you
I like
go.
Right.
Did what,
Well,
Mary?
I was telling Yvonne, you know how they say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree? Well, in the case of my son and me, the apple's still clinging to that tree. It hasn't dropped yet. He is so much like me that it's terrifying. We're both overthinkers. We both strive for perfection. And to be honest, if anybody knows anything about psychology, the people who want to be the perfect child, the perfect adult, whatever, that's a sign of childhood trauma.
Yep.
We
Yeah.
never felt good enough growing up.
Yeah.
And as a result, we want to be even better as we grow. And then you've got people like my husband who was doted on as a child. He doesn't think he can do anything wrong. I mean, he knows the world revolves around him.
Well,
But I told my son the other day, I said, what happens? I said, riddle me this, Batman. What happens when you get two perfectionistic, overthinking authors trying to finish one book? And he says, I'm not sure where you're going with this, Mom. I said, well, neither would the book. Because if you've got two people who keep thinking, maybe I should change this word. He was stuck on one word. Maybe I should put a semicolon there instead of a comma. Maybe. I said, you overthink it, you overanalyze it, you overedit it. The book will never get published. Nobody will ever read it.
Or you might mess it up.
and that
You do,
we're
totally.
going to talk about as well.
Mhm.
So the motto with Midnight Publishing is trust the process and trust us. Because if you can't, if we ask you that question and the answer to any one of those questions is, well, no, maybe, then please go somewhere else. Right now, I have 24 authors. Right now, I have 6 books that I'm working on from 5 of those authors. So if you cannot trust the process, you don't want to trust the process, and you want to tell me how to do what I do best, then please take it someplace else, because I don't need you, I don't want you, and I'm not going to have it.
Amen.
Being up since 4 o'clock this morning, well, I'm on a razor edge. So understand this. We do this for the love of it. And the more that I see out there, there was a thing from a friend of mine in Orlando today, and we're going to talk about this next month. She's been out there a little while, and she's getting all this garbage from all these scammers. I've been out here for 20 plus years. I've run the gamut.
And we're going to talk about how to turn their spam back against them into something positive for yourself. I actually, when Yvonne and I first connected this morning, she said, go ahead and over to the studio. I said, well, I'll be there in a minute. I can't come right now. I'm in the middle of something. So when we did connect, she said, what were you doing that you couldn't join me a few minutes ago? I said, I was going through my spam. She said, why? Because, my email if you report them as spam once, they end up in your spam box, and so do their compatriots, their friends and neighbors and whatnot. So I go through my spam folder, and I find all these. Oh, we just love your work. We love this book. We love that book. La la la, and they don't tell you up front there's a fee involved in their love. They want you to engage and invest time with them so that you get suckered into thinking they're your friend. But I found a way to turn their words into something that I can market. And we'll talk more about that next month.
So what we're going to start with today is, like I said, I've been in this business for a lot of years. My book has been through many, many publishers. And when I turn that book over to that publisher, it's that publisher's book from then on. Yeah, my name's on it, it's my book, but it is their responsibility. I don't have the luxury of saying, oh, I need to add another chapter, or oh, will you change this entire cover because it just does not suit me. I left out this word because that publisher is going to look at me and say, that would be a no. We don't have time.
They don't even charge you. They just tell you no.
They just tell, yeah. And if they do say, well, yes, however, it's going to cost you X amount of dollars.
And it's more than 50, I promise.
Yeah. And the
On top of what you already charged.
Right, exactly, Gwen. Good point. And that's on top of what they've already charged you to publish your book. Even though they say they don't charge you, they do. They charge you for editing, they charge you for formatting, they charge you for cover, they charge you for publishing, and they only publish
And the ISBN.
And ISBN, yes, they charge you for the ISBN. So when I say, when you send me your book, when you come and you say, I want you to publish my book, two things you're going to get. You're going to get the requirements of what we require. And our requirements, Mary will tell you, she's been in this business a minute too. They're very, very simple.
Mm-hmm. Y'all don't know how many people I've worked with over the years that have said, Mary, would you write our guidelines for us? We don't have any guidelines. We need to tell our writers how to write for us. So I know when I look at her guidelines, they're very simple. And it's absolutely imperative that you follow these guidelines, because that makes Yvonne's job easier. And if we can make her job easier, then we keep her happy.
It gets your book up faster if it's easier for her.
And I'm not cranky. Because if I ain't nobody happy, trust me. And what I'm going to start doing is, if you send me your manuscript and it's not in our guidelines, like New Times Roman and 12 Point, I'm going to send it back to you. I am not going to change font, and I'm not going to change.
Let the writer do it.
You're going to have to fix it. Unless you say, Vaughn, I really don't know how. If you're a novice and you've never done this before, I understand. But anybody that has...
I would say if you're a novice over the age of 50. If you're under the age of 50, you can figure it out.
You know, because you have to do it in school.
Yeah.
Right.
But we are getting so big now that everybody is still special, and I will work with everybody, but I don't.
And also, I'm feeling better.
Amen to
You
that.
know what that means.
Don't be sending me books
Books are going to be coming. I cannot stop myself. If I am breathing,
She's writing.
and I am not in the hospital, I am writing.
Yes.
And I know that Gwendolyn's got books that are coming. So I am a party of one, ladies and gentlemen. And I work from the time I get up until way in the night. This morning I was up at 4 o'clock because I couldn't sleep.
I told her last night to go to bed and get some rest because we needed her.
I've done this all my life. But when you decide you want to come on board, and when we send the emails out, Mary, we're going to ask them the questions. Are you willing to trust the process, and are you willing to trust us? And those questions have to be answered when you send back your contract. And the contract, it plainly states we don't charge. But if you come back at me and say, oh, I sent you my manuscript, but, and I've already got that book up, and I have to go back and redo that book, I'm charging you.
Yeah.
Because my time is worth something.
Right.
And when I already have 6 books in the pike right now, I don't have time to go back and redo your book.
Well, not only is your time valuable, and it's worth way more than $50.
Yeah.
The $50 fee for annoying the publisher, let's just admit it, that's what it is. It will give people a moment to pause and figure out if this mistake is worth $50.
Exactly.
Is it worth it to you to pay me to fix this mistake that you made?
Mhm.
But I gotta cut the hair on, so y'all bear with me. Because the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, there is no book out there that is perfect.
Right.
They don't exist.
And if you try to pull that stunt with any other publisher, they're going to say, yeah, we'll do it. It's going to cost you. And your book will be delayed going back up. Now, let me explain to you what happens on Amazon. Every time I have to go in and mess with that book, it messes up algorithms. And you don't want the algorithms messed up, because the algorithms are what keeping that book up at the top, where if people type in, let's say, Gwendolyn's book, September's Chill. If I pull that book down, or if I have to go in and do something to that book, and somebody's hashtagging domestic violence, we want that book right up there at the top, so that people will go, oh, let's see what this is all about. You don't want that book down at the bottom in the browsers, or even on Amazon. When they type in domestic violence, or Christmas coloring books, or domestic violence coloring books, because all those hashtags are on the books, you want those books to pop up. So every time I have to go in and mess with the book, it messes up your algorithms. And we have worked too hard to keep your books up there. These girls will.
How many formats is September's Chill in?
4.
So you take down one copy, you're messing up 4 formats.
I have to redo all 4 formats. And like I said, when I mess up, I'll fix it, because I messed it up. I messed up hers. I fixed it. I'm sending you new books.
No, ma'am.
We're not going to have
No, ma'am. I didn't catch it either.
But that's not the point. It was my screw up. She has some collector's copies now. That's September's Chill. That's a hardback of September's Chill. And see,
When she had, there was something
Gwendolyn.
that had to be fixed on it right at the beginning. And when she did it,
Gwendolyn, you're
and
like
they
a
pin it back
gremlin.
up, they didn't fix all of the formatted copies or
So-
something. I don't know exactly how all that works. But that says that, and this one has it correctly. And this is the paperback.
Yeah. So now I got to go and fix the formatting on the hardback, because I didn't fix the cover. I'll go back and check and see if I fixed the cover on that hardback.
And this one's really weird.
And
Where did
and
it go? I gotta find the right version of it.
well, the new versions are back up, and I've ordered your book, so I'm gonna be sending you books.
Okay. This is the one, the spine is correct. Right here, it's spelled right.
Right?
But on the front cover of the paperback for Fractured Soul,
Because
the Y and the L were backwards.
And that's on me because
Gwendolyn.
and that's on me because
And I'm okay with that. You know why? I'm not perfect.
Right.
Because the artwork, this is what people don't understand. The artwork for the spine, the
Is
front
different.
cover and the back cover are three separate pieces of artwork that Yvonne has to then combine into one piece
Yes.
of artwork. Amazon doesn't give a happy hello about whether it's right or not. All they care about is, does it fit with our machine? Does it fit in our format? They don't care if you've misspelled. And most people wouldn't notice that. Some
You
people
got to be
will.
real OCD to find some of the things that get left in a book as a mistake, and some of it's on purpose, depending on the author.
That
Yes.
is true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
That's how I win art from Andrea.
Because she gets and Andrea does that on purpose. She will make a mistake to see if people are paying attention. And
It shows they read the book.
right. But if I make a mistake and it's my mistake, I own it. Just like I fixed her books. And they were my mistakes.
I don't want to mess up the algorithm no more.
It's okay. I got it all fixed. But I'm gonna fix September Chill hardcover. That'll be an easy fix. But that's what happens. The more and if I have to take a book completely down and unpublish it, every algorithm that you ever had is gone bye-bye.
And
If
also, changing the cover is a different beast than changing the entire manuscript. Because
Yes.
I asked Yvonne, would it be too much trouble? Would it mess up too much if we changed out the cover to Ramonda's extended warranty? Because I wanted to put on the cover that it had been named Amazon's #1 new release. Because to me, that's a
Take it
special award.
Take
And
it out.
Yvonne said, no, send me what you want and I'll fix it. But if I'd said, well, I'd like to take down the book and add 3 more chapters to it, Yvonne would just laugh.
That's a different book.
It would be a different book.
It would be.
Exactly.
And what
And that's what Amazon tells you.
yes.
It's a different book with a different ISBN, a different barcode. It's a
Yes.
different version. You can have edition 1, edition 2, edition 3, or version 1, 2, 3, whatever. But you sell them as different books. And then if you want to unpublish version 1, that's fine. But you're starting from the bottom of the barrel with version 2.
And like I said, we spent so many hours, so many man hours making sure that your books are out there. And even with Gwendolyn's book, her books have been selling because people don't really care that I screwed up. They want the book.
Because the cover is great and it's nice to have it accurate, but the important stuff, especially with Gwendolyn's book, is the story inside.
Exactly.
Well, the inside's fine.
Yeah, it's just Yvonne had a brain.
It's just the cover.
And we'll fix it. I'll fix hardcover, fix September's Chill. And I
But
probably need to fix the Kindle version too. But see,
But that goes back to trusting the process.
right.
You
I
know,
trusted it. I just sent it to her and said, here you go, I'm done.
and she made a mistake, so she's going to fix her mistake.
I fix it.
But if you had come back and said, well, I don't like the way paragraph 27 on page 41, I want to reverse the paragraphs and make my third paragraph my first paragraph. You can't do that.
No.
This is things you need to do prior to submitting it to the publisher. And once you've done it, as long as you've written your book and you believe that you've gotten it edited and you've revised it and you've
Let it go.
like, you know, at some point you have to just be frozen and let it go.
And
This
also,
one went before I ever decided, before I knew it was finished. And I said, well, I guess it's done. She got it now, and I won't get it back.
that is true.
That was the first one.
And also, Gwendolyn was with us in our infancy when we were first starting, and it was a learning process. It was,
Sure.
and Gwendolyn's name was, to me, the way that it spelled it didn't make sense, but we'll fix it. We'll move on and we'll fix it. Life will be fine.
You're going to have to talk to the angels about my name.
Well, that's okay. Angels will be fine. We'll be
She's the one that spelt it.
We'll be fine with it. We'll be fine with it. Now, also, any other publisher, if you say, this is the cover I want, they're more than likely going to tell you tough. Because whether it's published on Amazon or whether it's published outside of Amazon, there are certain parameters that have to be done. And if you create your book cover and you send it to them and you say, this is what I want, and they can't fit it within those parameters, they're not going to use it. Because
And
it's-
you're lucky if you get to keep your title.
exactly. Because more times than not,
Many times in the big six, they just take your title and rip it apart and give you something else that they think will sell better.
exactly.
And in fact,
And won't change it back if you don't like it.
No, they won't.
I think it was the Perfectly Perfect book that I sent you. I said, I'm not sure about the title. This is what I'm thinking. I have an alternative just in case, but if you come up with something you think is better, by all means, throw it out there. Because y'all, anybody who knows me knows that most of my books have been inspired. I don't write books like now my Steep Steps was highly researched because it was a subject I was unfamiliar with. But the majority of my children's books, they don't come from me. I'm just the person who, like with Ramonda, she woke me up and she said, come on, I need you to do the physical part. I need you to write the book. But I hear from angels, sometimes I hear from God himself. Usually it's a voice, some spirit says, let's write this book. Since my heart attack, I've written 2 books that came to me after waking up from a nap. And I told Yvonne a couple of days ago, I think I just should nap more because I wake up and here's another book. And they literally come to me, boom, 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 boom. I cannot stop the booming. And I started writing the first book, Perfectly Perfect, by hand. And then I was halfway through and I'm like, I can type faster than I can write by hand. Let me just get my computer up. And Grandma's Heart book, that one, wow. I knew I needed to write a book about my heart attack. Had no idea that it was going to be a children's book. I just didn't know. And I've had people ask me, why don't you write a book about your heart attack? And so I was thinking of doing it, but I didn't know how. And that's exactly how Sally's Heart came to me. I had this Hallmark romance in my head of what I was going to do about my cousin's heart transplant. And then one day, God said, nope, this needs to be a children's book. Well, okay. I mean, who am I to argue with God?
Right.
Much. I mean, I do.
I do it all the time, just not about books.
Well,
I try to argue less, but I have been known to be God's very hard-headed child. But I'll tell you, he sent me to Yvonne. And Yvonne she doesn't brook any argument. She just says, here, this is what you need to do, and go do it. And
And gimme.
I know without a doubt that God is using her.
Mhm.
I hear his voice through her all the time. And the biggest blessing that he gave me was that day we were at lunch and I was spiraling out of control. Absolutely. I'm sure if the server had seen us, they probably would have asked, do you need me to call for help? Are you in trouble? Is this woman bothering you? And I don't know if she'd have asked that of Yvonne or if she'd have asked that of me, because I was literally going down the rabbit hole. And I was talking faster and faster and louder because that's what I tend to do when I get excited. And I was reciting all the books that I had either in my head or in files at various stages of completion. And Yvonne, I'll never forget it. She put her hand on top of mine and she patted it. She said, Mary, I want you to do something for me. I'm like, I'll do anything for you. You know that. She said,
Send me the book.
when we go home today, I want you to sit down and write a list of all the books that you have. I said, oh, I've already got that. She said, well, do you have them listed in order of which ones are finished and which ones are you're still writing? I'm like, well, I just have them on the list. No, I don't have them in order. She said, well, order your list. Put all the books that you've completed. And if they are children's books and you just need illustrations, send them to me now. And
Mary's
I
eyes
said-
got that big.
Now.
It's that easy. And I said, but I need to do the illustrations. I've already started illustrations on at least 2 of these books. She said, no, you don't. Send them to me. I will get you illustrated and published. Y'all, because
That was 17 ago
that was 17 books ago.
or more. You're still turning them in, so it might be
We
more.
hadn't published any of my books at that point. I had given her a thumb drive with 3 books on it that had already been previously published. I just needed her to get them onto Amazon. That's all. So those were easy. But 2 weeks, y'all, 14 days after this lunch, she had 6 of my children's books on Amazon, illustrated, formatted. They were in paperback and Kindle. Because they're too
Pre-order
small.
available.
They
Yep.
were too small to be hardback books, and there were no chapters, so they couldn't be audible. But those are the only 2 formats that were my option. I had those books in my hands a month later. So within 6 weeks of this lunch and her telling me, just do this for me and trust me. So after that, I was like, this was easy. I didn't have to fight this. And I sent her, I think Faith and Folly was my next one.
Yep.
And next thing I know is like the skies opened up and within 5 months or 6 months, August to December. Actually, it wasn't even December. It was the end of November. From August to November. What's that? Do the math.
4
5 months?
5 months, baby.
5 or 6 months.
I didn't just have 4 books, 5 books. I had 15 books in 5 months. Now, yes, I
Way
did
to
have-
intimidate the newbie over here, by the way.
I don't know. No, you got to understand. These are
Actually, I've
not
been
books.
intimidated with members of my church already had their books.
With the exception, with the exception of 2 of those books, I think, I had them already completed as files on my computer. They had been written years ago, and I was like an old setting hen that had rotten eggs. If y'all have ever had been around anybody raised chickens, and you don't have a rooster, you're not going to have baby chicks.
Babies.
But you're going to get a broody hen who's going to lay her eggs, hoping by some miracle they're going to get fertilized and she's going to have chicks. And if those eggs ever crack open, they smell to all high heaven because they're rotten. And that's what I was doing. I was brooding over my books, trying to figure out which one should I send out first. Which one should I do? And Yvonne made it so simple. You just send me everything you've got done. So I did. I have more that they're not done because I would write a story, and I guess I'm the queen of short stories, but I have thematic short stories, like From the Balcony.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stories about killing people. Let's not get into that. But that was how I handled grief. But also I had another book that she did called 1,000 Words. 42 different stories that I had written. They just happened to be exactly 1,000 words. Some of them might have been 1,004, some of them might have been 1,200. So when it came time, I just had to trim them down, make them all 1,000 words, put them together in one file, because that's part of our guidelines. Don't be sending Yvonne chapters. Don't be sending her one short story, one poem at a time. Put it all in one Word document and send it to her. But that's what I did, as I would get these little stories together that were themed. I'd send them to Yvonne and she'd turn them into books. And
Ladies and gentlemen, what you have to understand is the mindset of Midnight Publishing is God-driven. I did not set out to do this. I was going to publish my books and 2 people at church because our publisher died. I've said this before. I've told this story before. And God said, no, I have other things for you to do.
Enter Gwen.
Gwen was one of them. Mary probably wouldn't be here by now because she decided to have a Widowmaker. I guess she was bored that day. I don't know. She needed.
You were just bored, Mary. That's all.
I'm a middle child. I do everything for attention.
To the extreme. And I get it via text message. Oh, I just thought I'd let you know I'm in the hospital. I decided to have a Widowmaker. And I'm going, really? Really?
Well, it was the day before our Wednesday podcast in December. And I said, I'm not going to be there Wednesday because I went to the hospital on Tuesday. And I knew I was going to be there at least another day. So I said, either find somebody else to help to co-host the show or do it on your own. She said, we just won't do it. We're just going to stop them until December's over and give you time to heal. I was just thinking the show must go on, you know?
But because this is God-driven, there was a reason that Mary and I had this come to Jesus meeting at lunch. And I think one of the things that I said to her when she was going down the rabbit hole was, stop. Just stop.
Yeah.
I've had that come to Jesus meeting with my child, Gwendolyn. Just
do it and give it to me.
Yeah. Stop with the procrastinating. Stop with the excuses. Stop with, oh, it's got to be perfect. No. Let me tell you something. I'm a writer. I'm an author. I know that. I understand that feeling. However, if you spend your entire life going back over and over and over that same book, it is like regurgitating vomit. Because pretty soon all you have is a hot mess laying on the floor. And that's just the way it is. The more you mess with it, the worse it gets.
And not only that, if you're looking for that perfection,
Virgo.
which you can never achieve,
Never achieve it.
you're not going to ever get your book done.
No, it's gonna
And
sit
that was how I convinced my son that good enough is good enough. And Yvonne has started reading it. She can. I asked her this morning. I said,
She wants the rest of it.
I want to know, am I just being a proud mom, or is my son really a good writer?
And my comment was, I don't read sci-fi, but this book is very, very well done. And it was time for it to come out. It's engaging, it grabs you from the jump, and it doesn't let go. I'm only on the second chapter. I just finished our new author, Sierra Benson, her book, Salted Lies.
That's the one I want.
That one, oh, Gwendolyn, I'm going to tell you something, honey. You will not put that book down. Bottom line, it is based on the Monument Men. And if you are a World War II history buff, are old enough to remember World War II, and most of those folks have died off and gone to the Great Reward, there was a group of men that was sent on a secret mission to find stolen artifacts that Hitler had stolen from the Jews and hid in salt mines in Australia. And Sierra is a historian. She's an archivist, so she had all the information. This book is amazing. I didn't want to stop reading it. This book will go across all demographics. And we're working on the cover. I understand where she wants to go with the cover. She wants it kind of dark and foreboding because the book is a little bit, it's dark and foreboding, but in a good way. So that's still in the process of being worked on. But she let it go. And this is what she told me. It was time to let it go. It was time to trust the process. It was time to get it out there. And it's like I told her, okay, now we need another one because she left me hanging. I hate when that happens, but I do that too.
And you know, that's the beautiful thing about getting your first book published and trusting the process of Midnight Publishing. You get that one book, and before
And it
you
lights the
finish
fire
it,
up underneath you behind, and all you do is.
I gotta write another one. I have to write another one.
Now let me tell you what Miss Gwendolyn did. She sent me September Still back in 2024. And then she went to ground. Now, I've known this chick for over 30 years. And I asked my daughter, who is our biggest PR firm,
Hey, Brandy!
I said, what have you heard?
Right?
I said, what have you heard from Gwendolyn? Well, Mama, she told me she was doing some coloring books. I said, oh, really? Really? You tell her I said, send them to me today. Not playing this game. You don't get to go hide just because you wrote one book. So what does she do? She just sends them to me. Now she has 2 coloring books out. Then the next thing I know, she sent me Fractured Souls, which is her book of poetry, which now has a video that Andrea read and put to a video because that's how we roll.
September Shield does too. She took that poem and
Yes,
did
she
the
did.
voiceover for me.
She did. She did. So this is what we do here. And when we say trust the process, we mean trust the process. And part of trusting the process is understanding that we see the big picture. You, as the writer, are in the weeds of your book. You have totally invested in the book. I see everything. I see the cover. I see the videos that I'm going to do, the 7-second videos that we do to market your book, that we ask you to share. I see promotional material that we throw out there on YouTube and TikTok and the website. We do all of that. Already, I'm got promotional material going for Salted Lies, but you have to trust us, and you have to understand: A, we're not perfect, and B, there are requirements that we ask for. And as
Mostly because that's what you have requirements for.
exactly, and I have to. I can't be running down one chapter at a time. I can't be running down your Google Docs and trying to put everything in a manuscript, because I'm going to tell you, when you do that, things get lost. It becomes a hot mess. Sherry Ann Richardson, who we will be interviewing tomorrow, she's starting on her second book. From Under the Dragon's Eye, yeah. So, we see the big picture, and there is no perfection. Sorry, there just isn't. If you want perfect, then find a publisher that does it.
If you want perfect, you better let AI do it and let AI publish it.
Yeah, you're going to get in big trouble.
And it's still not going to be perfect.
Nope.
Exactly.
Because every time you use AI and you decide that, no, I don't like this, and you've got words on something, it changes the spelling.
It does.
Mhm.
It
Yep.
really does, because it's a computer, internet generated, yada yada yada. Now, publishing is a tricky business, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you, it is a tricky business. The publishing world is like an ADD, ADHD child on crack. I've been in this business a long time. I know the market trends. I watch them, and you have to be willing to wait. Your book might not sell this month because Joe Blow out there, whatever he's doing, he's not buying his genre book. The next month you may sell 150 books, but we don't look at it that way here. We do one book at a time. That's all we
The
do.
beautiful thing about trusting the process, you have to learn to be patient, but also in the length of time that it takes Yvonne to get our books from, I sent her 2 books. They're coming out on the 23rd of the same month. If I was dealing with a literary
House?
agent, if I had to deal with an agent, I might get an email. They might go, oh yeah, I'd like your book, send me the manuscript. Okay, so that's another week. For some reason it takes a week, even though email is instant. But when you're dealing with these agents, it takes a week to get them to respond, and then they ask you for more information, and then they hold it for another week or two, and then they say, okay, I think I'm going to try to sell this up in New York. I'm going to go to New York and talk to some publishers. I'll be back in touch. Well, you might wait 6 weeks. You might wait 6 months.
You might wait a year.
And then eventually
Then you might
they
never
come
hear back from them.
Right.
Then eventually they come back and they say, okay, I found you a publisher. They're not one of the big 6, but they're a publisher. They want your bio, your headshot. Now you need to send me your marketing plan. I need to know how many followers you have on Facebook and TikTok and And so send me your social media. They make you jump through hoops.
They want your life story before they will promote it.
You are right.
And then once they have
Yvonne just got
everything-
my headshot.
Once they have
18
everything.
months in.
Yeah.
So here we are a year after, and Yvonne's over there selling my books, one book at the time. One book at the time. Maybe they'll catch on fire. Maybe they won't. But it doesn't matter to me, because what matters to me is getting these books out. When I have 2 books in 1 month that come to me it wasn't like I dreamed the book and I woke up with this dream. I mean, I woke up and literally, you know how you wake up some days and you have a song in your head?
Mhm.
You just can't shake that song all day long.
Mhm.
That's how I am with books. If I don't write them down immediately, I lose them. So I started writing these books. Within, I don't know, less than a week, Yvonne says, okay, here's the cover for this book. Here, oh, and by the way, I've already started on your second book. I thought she had 4 people ahead of me.
No, it
But
does
she
happen.
didn't, apparently.
You were the only one that I had. But then right after I got your books is when they all started coming in again.
Yeah, because mine started coming back in after yours did.
Yep. And that's what happens, ladies and gentlemen. I might not have a new book from an author for a week, 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks. Then an author will send me a book, and then before I know it, I have a whole slew of books. And the first in is always the first out. So however they come in, that's how they go out. And if I'm in the middle of working on someone's book and I get an author that says, oh, I need for you to change this right now, I'm going to say, not happening today, honey. Mm-mm. No, you go to the end of the line, because I have others ahead of you, and that's the way it is. And this market is tricky. Publishing is a very, very tricky business. And so when I get new authors that have no clue about the publishing world at all, they have absolutely no clue. They have all these expectations. They have all these dreams and goals. Now, dreams and goals are wonderful. Don't lose them. But understand, if you're in this industry to get a book deal, to get a movie deal, to get a TV deal, to sell enough books to keep you afloat for the rest of your life, then you need to go get a job. Leave this industry, because it's not going to happen, especially with indie authors. There is still a stigma. After 20 plus years, there is still a stigma. Even though we have broken the glass ceiling, there are still people out there that think that we're dirt under their shoe, and I just laugh at them, because I know how far I've come. I
It's
know
because we're independent.
yeah,
Right.
We have our own ideas of how we want everything to be, and we don't want them messing it up. And because we don't want them messing it up, because we already got a mess over here where we're writing to start with to fix, we don't need them messing it up
exactly.
or messing up our process for writing and saying, no, you can't write it that way. Excuse you, my book, not yours.
But they will do that,
I'm the writer. I can't write it like you want it.
and they will.
I
do
mean,
that.
for
that is the industry. And when I get new authors that say, well, I want to reach this demographic, I understand that you've done your homework, but you got to understand this. We live in a global world. And when we live in a global world, we're going after the masses. We're not going to focus on one demographic, because I can promise you one thing: it ain't going to work.
And
At
who
all.
cares if the demographic you think isn't the one that attract? I mean, look at my Little Mermaid book.
Yes.
I wrote it not really worried about who was going to read it. I wrote it for me.
Right.
But you think, okay, mermaids, maybe little girls. But then along comes you know, Yvonne was with me when I first sold my first copy in person, even before it sold on Amazon. And grown women picked up the book and looked at it and goes, I need this for me. I don't want this for a grandchild or a dog. I love the images. This is so pretty.
And they bought it for themselves.
They bought it for themselves.
So in our world, in Midnight Publishing's world, when you trust the process, you trust us, you also, everything that you learned in a creative writing course and an online how to publish your book course, throw it out the window. Because we do not restrict ourselves. We do not follow any set rules except the requirements for your book. We do not market the different books to a certain demographic. For instance, I'm going to take Gwendolyn as an example. September's Chill is Gwendolyn's journey with domestic violence relationships twice. You may not be in a domestic violent relationship, but I guarantee you know somebody that is.
Exactly.
So we are marketing to you so that you can either purchase that book for that person or tell that person about that book so they can purchase it.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't limit ourselves to our authors' different demographics. We are sold, ladies and gentlemen, in 11 countries. And we are an independent publisher. Yes, ma'am.
I just thought of something else that Midnight Publishing doesn't require that almost all big publishers do. They want to know what books that are already out there do your books compare to. How, you know, send me a comparable list of 3 to 5 books that, or they'll tell you who's reading your competition's books.
What?
Oh yeah, they want
do.
to narrow you down, put you in these little
Yeah.
pigeonholes, make you fit into conformity.
Yeah.
They want to put you in a niche.
Yeah.
And that's the only niche that they want to publish you in.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went and did coloring books afterwards, that would have been a whole different niche that they wouldn't have wanted to put me in.
Right.
And they don't want you to publish anything except what your alleged genre is. For
Right.
instance, Gwendolyn.
And I don't even, you know, I don't stick to one genre,
Neither
but
do
I
I.
also, my books blend. I mean, most of my books are fiction, my children's books, but they have a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like my novel, Steep Steps, it was based on reality. And it wasn't a true book, but as I'm reading it to different people, they're like, okay, is this one of the true things that happened to you? Or is this not? But when I did 1,000 Words, I put totally made up stories right along with journal entries. I blend fact and fiction.
And if Gwen's debut novel was September's Chill, if Gwendolyn were to send another publisher another book in a completely different genre, let's say she just got on a tear and decided she wanted to write romance, that publisher would say no.
Right.
It's outside of your genre. It's outside of the formula that we want you to be in. We don't do that here. People are free to write whatever they want to, but we don't publish erotica. But
I would be so upset if I had to stick to just one genre.
I'd be
Because
I couldn't do it.
my mind
Yeah.
is too busy for that. And I think it's wrong to limit writers to just what they might have started with.
in
Absolutely.
in the publishing world, outside of our little family, in the publishing world, there is a formula that they all use, and they don't venture from it because it is a formula that they have decided that works. So what happens is they want the writer to pump out as many books in 6 months as possible. They really want 3 books a quarter. So what they do is the writer gets into this formula. They change the names, they change the place. The plot's the same. The outcome is the same. So if you read their debut novel and then 10 novels out, if you read another one, it's the same thing. It's boring. Here we encourage our writers to go beyond that which they know, to stretch themselves beyond what they could possibly ever do. And we want them to be the best at what they can be, at what they do. So when somebody says to you, well, I got my book published over here at Ace Booking, and they're really, really nice. I really, really like them. The first question you ask them is this: what they charge you? How many books did you get with them? And were you able to change your genres? Because I'm going to guarantee you, I already know the answers. I already know the answers. Already been there.
I mean, the first book I wrote was about angels.
Yeah.
If I had to only write about angels, I'd have 4 books.
Right.
Now, maybe I'll write another book about angels down the road. But that's a long cry from 17.
It is.
Yeah.
And Gwendolyn will tell you, I think she was shocked when I had Brandy contact her and tell her to send me those 2 coloring books. But she's right. Ladies and
I
gentlemen,
disappeared because I was busy.
I know. Too busy to send your mama your books.
It wasn't done. I knew where to send it. It just wasn't done yet.
But this is
And then I sent you what, like back to back, boom, 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 4?
you did.
Yeah,
So-
because I accused you.
Got
of
about that
copying
many
me.
going again.
Good.
Good competition. Thank you.
I told you, you intimidated me, Mary. I had to catch up.
I don't mean to intimidate anybody.
It's more the fact that you'd already had all them many already typed up, and I just had the one, and I was like, well, if she can, I can. 3.
I'm twice as old as you, child.
No, you're not. You're not 105.
I'm close.
But ladies and gentlemen,
I feel 105 some days.
I'm also going to tell you that no other publisher will promote you
Not the same way.
No.
as we do here. We have 4,052,677 views on YouTube.
Publisher will tell you need a publicist or a PR person to do all that.
Which you got to pay
That's
for.
another cost that you have to add
Yes.
to a normal publishing
But
house.
see, our publicist is Brandy Highfield.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And
She
each other.
pushes- and she is not a writer.
No.
She is her one connection to the publishing world is that Yvonne is her mother.
But she
And-
likes to read.
I like to read, yeah.
Publishes,
Yeah, that's that.
she promotes us as if she was getting paid for it.
She does.
Mhm.
And she works at night. But
And
if-
she talks about it at work at night
she
about
does.
all the authors. That's how she found out I was working on the coloring books. My husband
So
used to work with her.
I think it was yesterday, Yvonne, in your live, or maybe the day before, Brandy had asked about promotional materials.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So if we
Book covers.
made some of those, we could mail them to Brandy.
Yep. And she will hand them out. And what she
I
wanted,
just need cardstock,
and I'm gonna use this envelope is when
and we
I-
don't have to use Vista. I can do it.
Okay, many years ago when I first started, I had my book covers published through Vistaprint on a size of this size, and it was just the book cover. And Brandy and my dad handed these out along with my business card to everybody they saw, and that's what she's wanting us to do again. She'll just hand them out, and I had forgotten I had done that.
Oops, I left it at the restaurant. Oops, I left it at work. Oops, I left it at the store. Oops, it fell out in the parking lot. Oops, that one made it on somebody's car. Let me tell you how Brandy works.
But any other publisher, honey, is not going to do this for you. I'm telling you.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
They are not going to give you the individualized attention that we do here. They're not going to treat you like family.
You haven't even mentioned the 7-second videos.
No.
Yvonne makes these amazing little videos with voice. They're no more than 7 seconds long. And they'll say things like, Gwendolyn's chill. Gwendolyn's chill.
That's okay. I like that.
Gwendolyn is chill. Gwendolyn September's Chill is available on Amazon. And it has the heroine holding her broken sword, brandishing it,
And doves flying off.
doves flying off, everything. I mean, it's her cover
Turned into a
Animated.
short.
made into a video short with a voice recommending you go to Amazon and check it out. And she has done this for all of her authors, for
Every
all
book.
of our books.
And when I put these shorts up, I don't just put the short up. I go to Amazon. I put up the description. Like, okay, when I go to YouTube and I put, let's take September's Chill. I put the 7-second short up. I go to Amazon. I pull the description off. I put it in there. Then I drop the link in there. So that all that person has to do is just read the description, hit the link, go buy the book. When I put it up on the website, I do the same thing. I put the YouTube 7-second short up, go pull the description, add the link to the book, do the hashtags, and put it out there. Same thing on TikTok. Every book gets a description and the link to Amazon with that 7-second short. You can't buy that.
That's why TikTok don't like you.
Well, they're saying they don't know what happened. They didn't do anything, but it's still not working. But that's okay. They're my redheaded stepchild. I don't care. Not when I got 4 million viewers on YouTube.
YouTube, it's not a, yeah.
It's not
Not a contest.
no.
Right.
Mm-mm. So when we ask you all, and you say, I want you to publish my book, will you publish it? Yes, we'll publish it. As long as it's not erotica, we will publish it. But the question is, do you trust the process and do you trust us? And if either one of the answers to those questions is, well, maybe, let me think about it, or
You're not ready.
we're gonna say, go do your
Come back when you're ready.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because if you're not ready, then whatever I do is not going to be enough for you, and I don't have time to babysit grown-ass adults. I'm not in the mood. You're either all in or all out. There's no sitting on the fence in our world. You're either in or you're out. And we take care of our family. As soon as I put stuff up on our social media, they all start sharing with each other.
Yeah.
Because in this world, in business, in marketing, which I've been doing since I was a little girl, in marketing, when you tell 3 people, like you go to your favorite restaurant and you have a nice meal, you love the server, the atmosphere is wonderful, you go home and you put it up on all of your social media because you can't wait to tell everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's going to the restaurant. When they go, they're going to tell people. That's how it is in the publishing world. It's how it is in our world.
That's how social media works, period.
Exactly.
tagging people, like if I'm sharing Yvonne's book, Mary's book, whatever, I try to tag them. If I'm on a different social platform and sharing it, I will tag them. Hashtags are also important when you reshare people's stuff, like hashtag indie author, because that's what all of us are. Hashtag midnight publishing, and that gets everybody included for like sending it to the site for all of us at one time. Um, you can also hashtag if you know what genre it's in, like with my poetry, hashtag poetry. All those kind of things add up, and she uses those hashtags. She will tag you if it's your book. Mary tags everybody. I tag everybody. You can put it like when you go to post on Facebook specifically. I don't know about everywhere else, but it lets you tag who you're with. When you tag all those people, it sends it to all of their pages, so all of their people get to see it as well. And that's one of those things that we just do, or I just do.
Well, because we live in a global world.
Yeah, that one intimidates me too.
And speaking of global worlds, our website is viewed by 48 countries. One of those being Japan, Canada, the UK, New Zealand, Australia, Belize, Egypt, Philippines, Austria, Switzerland. That's just the name, the ones I can remember.
France.
France. We are seen in 48 countries. We are sold in 11 countries. Canada. So we are a global publishing house.
And we still don't charge anything unless you piss off my publisher. And it's a $50 fine.
I don't know how many small press publishing houses can say they're global, or even if they keep up with it. But we do. And there's a reason for that. Because if we sell one book in a foreign country, we can claim that wonderful add-on. We're not just
And you don't know how many times people in that country are sharing that book.
Exactly.
And telling of their friends, go check it out. Go check out this book that I found. And that's the beauty of having it on Amazon and not in brick and mortar stores.
And that brings me to another point, ladies and gentlemen.
I ain't got to get out of my pajamas to go shopping for a book if I go to Amazon.
There you go.
Right.
But also, we don't want to be in brick and mortar stores. Have you been in a Barnes and Noble? You can stay
I
in
get lost in there.
and you can stay in there from now until you die.
No, my
And-
husband won't let me.
And you wouldn't go through all the books they have there.
But not only that, you go to a Barnes and Noble today, how many non-book items are they selling along with the books?
Right.
More non-books versus books.
You got the little bobbleheads, you got keychains, you got tote bags. and
Merchandise.
Yeah.
It's all this merchandise that some of it's nice, some of it has the name of the book on it, but some of it is just non-specific.
Yeah.
I mean, I was guilty. I bought a goat in Barnes and Noble one time.
I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know.
I'm hoping that was a stuffed goat, not a live one.
It was not a stuffed goat, but it was not a live goat either. It was a little statue that said greatest of all time.
Okay.
Okay.
And it had nothing to do with anything, but it was a statue of a goat that had a little plaque on the bottom said greatest of all time. Was one of Curtis's Christmas gifts that year. Why did I need to buy the goat for him? I didn't. But I bought it anyway.
It was an impulse buy.
And it was on one of their little impulse aisles. I went there because somebody had given me a gift card, and then somebody had also recommended some specific books and authors. So I said, well, I got time today. I'll go look around, see what I can find. And while I was there, I spent half of my gift card on this damn little goat statue.
While we're on the subject of brick and mortar stores, and I did a live on this the other day, unless you know the owner of an independent bookstore, I know Mary knows a couple, she has a very good relationship with them, do not try to put your books in those stores, and I will tell you why. Because independent bookstores have a class action lawsuit against the Big Six and Amazon, filing an antitrust lawsuit saying that Amazon and the Big Six hyped up the prices of their books and Kindle astronomically so that they can't be purchased. I call BS. And the
How's
reason,
that? It's still under $10 to buy a Kindle book.
well, they're talking about wholesale. And I call BS because I know what my authors pay for their books when they ask for them. Because that price pops up. It's the printing cost of the book. And I am really, really upset with independent bookstores in general because of that stupidity.
Yeah.
And I got it right here. Yes, this is the lawsuit. Independent booksellers filed a class action lawsuit against Amazon and the big 5 publishers in March of 21. This thing's been going on for 5 years now, alleging a price-fixing conspiracy for print books. The lawsuit, Bookends and Beginnings LLC versus Amazon, claims that Amazon's business practices, particularly regarding, quote, most favored nation blank clauses, artificially inflate prices and harm small brick and mortar bookstores. Key details regarding the lawsuit. Case focus. The suit claims a massive price fixing scheme to intentionally constrain the book selling market and inflate the wholesale price of print books. That is BS.
Got a question on that.
Yeah?
Have they tried to go to the UPS store and print them books?
No.
I have.
Lead plaintiff. The plaintiff is Bookends and Beginnings. They're the one that filed the lawsuit. An independent bookstore in Evanston, Illinois is the lead plaintiff. They're the ones that filed the lawsuit.
Illinois Blue State.
The defendants, which is the Big 5 and Amazon, the Big 5 along with Amazon. The lawsuit targets major publishers, Penguin, Random House, Simon & Schuster, Hachette, HarperCollins, and Macmillan. That's the Big 5. The status. While a judge initially recommended dismissal in 2022, the case has faced ongoing litigation and legal challenges regarding whether the booksellers can prove their claims of antitrust violations. Now, an antitrust lawsuit is a federal lawsuit because of the antitrust laws, which are federal laws. They're not state laws. This is a federal lawsuit, which could go on until hell freezes over.
Yeah.
A separate similar case action lawsuit focused on ebooks also alleges that Amazon conspired with the Big 5 to increase ebook prices by up to 30%. Now, why in the name of creation would they even care about ebooks? Because they don't get anything off of ebooks.
That's why they care. That's why they care, because they don't have access to sell that. Problem is, that's not how it was created for sale. It wasn't meant for a box brick and mortar company to sell it.
While the initial lawsuit was dismissed, several independent bookseller associations have filed subsequent actions And as a result, those independent booksellers refuse to carry any Amazon printed books in their stores.
Oh, how precious.
This statement comes from the bookstores managers in McDonough, Georgia, Blairsford, Georgia, Franklin, North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Asheville, North Carolina. They now only bring in books via Ingram Spark or a major printing house. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen.
They're suing the big people, and that's the only ones they're going to buy from.
Right, and they're going to inflate their price.
Yes.
And the
You
reason
can't make this shit up.
they're going to inflate their price is because they order from Ingram Spark. Now, I'm not going to publish my people at Ingram Spark because I have to buy ISBN numbers, and they're $150 each. I am not doing that to my office.
And they definitely don't get refixed for nothing. Not
No.
even a fine if you
So-
got to do that.
They buy from printing houses and they buy from Ingram Spark at wholesale prices.
But they suing them.
When they turn around and sell that book for a retail price, they have to charge up to 4 times what it costs them to buy that book.
That's
So
ridiculous.
if let's say Mary's Little Children's Book, it's in prime color because it's a children's book, and I think it wholesales for maybe $4.60. We're going to go with that just for the sake of this discussion. So let's say I put it through Ingram Spark, bookstore decides they want to buy it. They got to buy it for $4.60. All right, they got to pay for shipping. They got to pay a tax. They got to pay their overhead. They got to pay their employees. So that $4.66 books, which I think we sell for $12.99, is going to be $25, and the book is only 29 pages long.
That's ridiculous.
Ain't happening in this world we live in, not here.
Yeah.
So when I ask y'all, don't even bother, because independent bookstores have totally screwed over independent authors, with the exceptions of one that you already have a relationship with.
And the ones that I have a relationship with aren't just bookstores. They're predominantly metaphysical, and they have a book corner. But
Right.
I give them the books at wholesale, which I'm still making money.
Right.
My wholesale to them is not the wholesale I pay.
But she still makes money off of it because she has a relationship with this
Right.
bookstore. But if you go into an independent bookstore and want to put your book in there, they're going to tell you no, because the first thing they're going to say is, are you on Amazon? Did you publish through Amazon? Yes, I did. We're not. No.
And why should they care? If
Right.
When they
if I'm
start
giving
asking
them-
me that question, I think my reply would have to be, I don't believe that's any of your business as
It
long as
isn't.
I can supply you with the books.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But we don't want to support those bookstores because they're not supporting us.
Right.
Talk about not trusting the process.
Exactly.
I can't trust their process.
No.
No.
I
They,
can trust your bonds.
so when I get asked if our books are in bookstores, emphatically no.
I don't want it there either.
No, but if I'm at a flea market, y'all might find some.
But that's a different animal.
Yeah.
That is you at a flea market in your booth doing your thing.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right.
And there's nothing that says you can't do that. But
Exactly.
why do I want to trust an independent bookstore that doesn't want to promote independent authors?
Exactly.
Ain't happening. Not when we're sold in 11 countries and have 4 million viewers on YouTube. What can they give me that we're not already doing here?
Exactly.
Exactly.
And
Nothing.
there's no guarantee that book's going to sell. And after, let me tell you what they do after 60 days. Let's say they
It gets moved to the back.
and it goes on sale for $2.99. So you make no money, ladies and gentlemen. You make no money when they do that. And the fact that they're refusing to buy from Amazon says a whole lot about their character.
Exactly.
It is now almost 2:30. We have been on here an hour and a half. I know Mary's getting tired. I see it in her face.
She looks like it.
So,
Nap time.
final thoughts.
Time to
Is-
nap and come up with another book.
The final thoughts is, would you want a welder in the operating room doing your surgery? They don't have the knowledge, they don't have the tools, they don't have the skill set.
No
So,
way.
do you want to fight with doing your book yourself, become frustrated and give up? Or do you want to trust the process and trust us to do it and take care of it and promote you and treat you like family? It's all on you.
Exactly.
Gwen, what closing thoughts have you got, honey?
Me for closing thoughts? If you can't trust anything, trust Yvonne.
Thank you, honey. Donnie, Denise, you got any closing thoughts?
Well, I've trusted God when Carol was the one that sent me to you. And so I trust the process, trust where God's taking it.
As soon as she gets her book done, she's sending it. What about you, Miss Mary?
If I didn't trust the process 6 months ago, I would not have published 17 books by now.
And she wouldn't be here either.
I would
No,
have fun.
because I really believe that part of my life lesson was to learn to trust the process and
Yes.
learn to ask for help, learn to accept the help. And when I learned that lesson, God said, there's hope for her after all. Let's keep her around a little bit longer. But let's just slow her butt down a lot. We're gonna make her crawl again before she can walk, before she can run. But we're gonna make her take a lot of naps and give her some ideas.
Well, right now, we have 98 books up.
Wow. I need to send you 4 more.
Okay. We have, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be in business 2 years in June. We have 98 books up. We have 24 authors.
In
and
2
more.
years. In less than 2 years. Good Lord.
Well, you've actually got 4 books in process, right?
I have 5. I have
So you get
Sierra's.
to 100 by the end of the week.
I have Sierra's. I have Matt's. I have Ann's 2. I have Waiting on Dar's. And whenever Anata sends me hers, there's 6.
So within 2 weeks, you'll have 100 books.
Over 100. So we're, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing something right here. Even with our mistakes, we're doing something right.
And one book at a time.
And one book at a time. We don't pressure our authors to sell 100 books. That's ludicrous. Already successful because they let it go and trusted the process.
Yeah.
One more closing thought.
Yes, ma'am.
We don't have deadlines.
Amen.
No.
You write the book in your own time.
Such an
Yeah.
audience.
There's nobody breathing down your, but see, that's part of trusting the process.
Mhm.
If you trust the process, you're just going to write your book when it, and you'll stop. You'll know when it's finished. If you don't trust and you keep micromanaging yourself, then you're not going to get anywhere. There is a phenomenal success in just completing the book.
Yeah.
There are so many people out there who don't know how to talk. They talk the talk but don't walk the walk. At Midnight Publishing, we are applauded and celebrated every time we get a book done. We don't have to sell it to be successful.
Right.
We just have to get it done. Or as that guy says, get her done.
You're done. And the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter if Gwendolyn sells one book this month or Mary doesn't sell but one book this month. What matters is they're here, they're published, and they are successful. As my Stanley says, just do it. I don't want to hear any more excuses. Well, I'm too busy, I'm too that, I'm too. The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Oh,
Just saying. So,
and I want to say one last thing.
of course you do.
Of course. No, I'm looking at all of our little boxes on my screen.
Yeah.
and I see everybody is branding.
Yep.
Gwendolyn Law, Yvonne Mason, Denise Winter, Mary Brotherton. We don't have cute little usernames that nobody knows who we are.
No.
We don't just have our first name so people are wondering. So 5 years from now, when somebody stumbles on this on YouTube, they're going to know who 4 of Midnight Publishers authors are. They're going to be able to go look on Amazon and find our books because we are
Branding our name.
we're
Yeah.
branding. We are the company. We are the brand.
Right.
We are branding ourselves by putting our full and complete name on the screen the way we will be known on our books.
And
Oh my God.
for those of you who saw the commercial on Sunday, I saw it way before Sunday.
The Budweiser commercial.
I've
we
been
know.
watching.
She was a hang.
I have
My
watched
favorite.
every commercial that they have put out.
Mhm.
Now let me tell you what they did. We know the brand is the Clydesdales. We know the brand is the Eagle because it's in the middle of the Anheuser-Busch logo.
Yeah. Mhm.
We know the Dalmatian is the brand. The beer is the product. When they put that commercial together, even if you did not drink, you knew what that commercial
was-
was about.
Yes.
And you understood the brand. And the eagle and the horse did not have to say a word, and neither did the farmer at the end because the look was everything.
Yes.
That's what we do here. You are the brand. Your book is your product. And it's how you present your brand helps sells your book. And when I hear people say, well, I really don't want to get on social media. I'm kind of afraid of it. I sort of backed up. Not my problem.
It's good for promoting.
Get up, Buttercup.
Suck
Because
it up, Buttercup. I went on TikTok and didn't even want to do live, and that's what I ended up doing for the longest time.
so there you go. If you don't promote your brand, which is you, then the product's not ever going to sell.
Exactly.
I guarantee you, people buy Budweiser in droves after they saw that commercial, and they didn't have to even
I bet
say
you
a
they
word
did.
because the brand is the Clydesdales, the Eagle, and the Dalmatian, and that commercial spoke volumes.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
It
So
did.
we'll close tomorrow. Mary and I will have our podcast at 9:30 with Sherry
With
Ann.
Sherry.
Yes. And
I'm in the middle of one of her things that she posted on something.
so when y'all are ready to trust the process and trust us and understand that I have been marketing since I was 5 years old. And I when I am reading your book, I see the big picture. Don't limit yourself and marry yourself to a cover that you have come up with. Number one,
If you've got
go
if
ahead.
you've got specific symbols though, or a specific color that are special to you, put it in the email to her. She will try to incorporate it.
Yeah.
Well, that's like when my son, he was working on his cover. I asked him, I said, are you married to it? Because Yvonne might have another idea. He said, Mom, because I trust you, I trust her. He said, I do like this cover. I'll say we've been engaged for quite a while, but I'm not married to it.
And what you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, is just because you like a cover, or Aunt Susie over here likes a cover, or your best friend over here likes a cover, it doesn't mean that it's going to market well.
That it should
We
be.
do not blend in here. If your cover's not standing out, it's going to get lost in 4 million books on Amazon. It is
44 million.
44 million. It's going to get lost. And I'm going to tell you something else that's going to happen. It's not going to make people want to read the description or read the back or pick it up. It's not going to make people want to share it because your cover begins the story.
Yes.
The back makes you want to read the story.
So I thought I had a killer of an idea for my Faith and Folly. And Yvonne said, nope, we're not doing that. Try this one. It was perfect.
Amen.
And then the videos, did you see the last video? I'm just coming down this bridge.
That was so much fun.
This is what we do. So keep an open mind, trust the process, trust us, and let your dream be real. That's all we ask. Because we do it for nothing.
Live the dreams.
Live the dream.
Yep.
Because Gwendolyn's living the dream now. I got a writing fool up there in that corner.
I took lessons from Mary.
I know, right?
And Denise gets to take the lessons from everybody.
But
Having fun
understand
here.
this is God driven, and it's God driven because these three people right here needed to know they were in a safe place. They needed to understand that there's no criticism, there's no judging, there's no, oh, you can't write that because it's too raw. Honey, have you read any of my true crimes? Doesn't get much rawer than that. Does not get much rawer than that. There's no, you're not good enough. We don't do that here. If you've got a story to tell, we sell it. We know how. So look for Sierra Benson's new book, Salt of Lies. Look for Aaron's new book. Help me, Mary.
Manaphage.
Manaphage. Look, Gwenda's going to be sending me more. Mary's going to send me more books. Denise is working on her journey with cancer. And we're family. So tomorrow, have the day you deserve. And may you people be as kind to you as you are to them. I love you, ladies. Thank
Love you. I love you all. This was
It's easy.
magnificent. Just trusting the process. You know, we didn't really need an hour and a half to tell people, get over yourself.
No, we needed that hour and a half to have family time.
There
Yeah.
you go. There you go.
But, you
There you
know,
go.
the whole idea was
Be connected.
to teach a lesson about how to follow, trust the process. And really and truly, all that means is get over yourself. Stop overthinking, stop looking for perfection. Allow Yvonne, the expert, to do what she does best. She's been gifted by God, and she's sharing that gift with all of us. And we've talked in the past about what happens if you take that gift and hide it.
It goes away.
You
It
lose
will,
it.
yeah. And it
You
may
lose
be
it for a
with
long
somebody
time.
else that will do it.
Yep.
So just believe that Yvonne knows what she's doing. Trust her to do what she, I mean, if worst case scenario, she publishes your book and it doesn't sell, then you can ask her to take it down, and then you can go through that long, arduous process of trying to find another publisher who will.
And pay them astronomical.
Yes,
And it is.
but
Like in thousands.
I vote for free publicity,
And
free
Mary,
support.
what people don't realize is the programs that I use. Ladies and gentlemen, I use 3 different Photoshop programs. I use 2 different programs to run the videos and make book covers. I have the website, and all of that costs me money every month out of my pocket. And I don't ask these people for a dime. And I'm
Okay.
not saying that as kudos to me. I'm just telling you there are expenses,
Mhm.
and I pick those expenses up. And they're not cheap. But it's okay. Because we are spreading something that is priceless.
Yeah.
And God will take care of me. He always has. So,
We are grateful to you.
and I love you all.
We are.
I'm grateful to you guys back.
So until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, go and have
9:30, not 10:30.
9:30 because Sherry has to leave at 10:30, and we'll stay on.
I already fixed my clock.
Good. We'll stay on for another 30 minutes or so to recap what we did today. And Gwen, if you want to come in, I'll send you the link.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
If I'm awake, I'll come in.
All right. See y'all tomorrow.
And you have a
Bye.
blessed day.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you.